in March 2020 is the perfect time to invest in my hardware startup, which had its challenges. And I'll tell you some of the most three interesting ones that started at the beginning. So one person I talked to said that, do you know that hardware is hard? Like, it's really hard. Like, are you aware? I said, yeah, fully aware. Have a little bit of background there, so we're gonna persevere through that. Another great one was that, do you know that you're a young, inexperienced girl in this space, and you really think you can do it? And all these things are true, except for the whole being a girl thing. I know that, we say there's a new girl in the office, but let's just be clear, we're women. So we should just, get around saying that I'm women. But I am young, and I am inexperienced, and I am a woman, but those are the least interesting things about me. And those are not the important things about me either. What is way more important is that I am driven, that I'm motivated, that I'm empathetic. And for those reasons, I kept pushing through and kept on pitching to start raising money. Another piece of advice here, just as an early entrepreneur or diving into something new, you're gonna get a lot of feedback, a lot of feedback. And what I did at the start was I took it all in. And I let it drive me over here, and then by some of the feedback, I ended up realizing I was right back to where I started. So I highly encourage you to take bits of the feedback, but really make sure it's adding to what motivates you, and always, staying true to the core of, what you're believing in, the mission that you're trying to do. And so all that to say, these things were true, but I kept pitching, and I was able to bring in $2 million to get the company going. So it's now summer 2020. We're deep in the pandemic at this point. And I decided this is the perfect chance, perfect timing to bring a little human into this world. So by August of 2020, I was pregnant. And it was actually a really amazing time to see, in these low moments and deep in the pandemic, how the team I had built around me really came together. How everyone was always trying to protect me and the baby, wearing masks. We had our own little bubble and able to continue to work together to make the progress. And so you want to be around and surround yourself with people that are really gonna show their true moments in that time. And timing will never be perfect. And do you wait for better timing, or do you take the leap and try and see how it pans out? So it's now the end of 2020, and we have runway, so we have cash in the bank until April. So it's now time for me to go out and start raising our Series Seed round. And tip here, it is very, very challenging to raise money in November, December, January. Do not recommend it, it's not impossible. And it's even more challenging to enjoy the holidays when you're anxiously awaiting investor emails and you're super pregnant and cannot consume wine. So and so now by February, we actually have 2 investors that it's looking like we're gonna come in, but then one of them pulls out. So, and the second investor said, we're not gonna be left alone here. We need to find another institutional investor to come in and make this happen. So I kept searching around, and it was getting, more desperate times. And there was one group that we were working with, and we're getting to those final stages. And I said, okay, it's time for me to start doing some due diligence and, talk to some of their other portfolio companies to see what they're really like to work with. And this one company I spoke with, this woman told me that I wouldn't mention to him that you're pregnant. I said, well, it's gonna come out one way or another. And she said, I mentioned it in a board meeting the other day that I'm pregnant, and it was not well received. How could a woman be leading a company and raising a family? It's just impossible. And I said, well, it's not actually an issue for me to tell him, because it's very clear at this point that this is not a partner that I want to work with. And even in those desperate times where it was really clear that we needed money, I didn't need that money. I had to still remain true to my values and what I believed was important, and I'm not going to be partnering with someone that doesn't align with those. And so I kept searching. So then I found this team. It was looking great. Again, we're in the final stages, and the partner said we should go on a walk. So the final stages will be, we're gonna go on a walk. I just really wanna get to know you, make sure that we're meshing well. I said, okay, this is probably a good time to tell him that for me, it's gonna be a waddle during this walk. 9 months pregnant, and there's a chance that, you know, I could burst here. So as long as you're cool with driving me to the hospital, you know, if I go into labor. And he said, oh yeah, that's no big deal. Emerson's 15 minutes away. It's not gonna be a problem. Check, that seemed great. So we went on this walk. We got to know each other. It was really clear it was a great fit. And at the end of the walk, he said, we're in. And I closed $4.5 million in our Series Seed 9 days before giving birth to my son. So, all that to say, the timing is never perfect. It's never right. And you're gonna come up with 1,000,001 reasons why to not do something. And the things that we're setting out to do here are hard. They're really hard problems that we're trying to solve. But sometimes things do work out. Sometimes the timing does work out. Shout out to my son Callum for coming 3 days late. And sometimes these really hard things do pay off. And if I leave one little bit on you today, it's that I encourage you, if you desire, to take that leap and to take that next step. You only need one moment to work out. And when it does work out, it is all worth it.
Woo!
Please go check out thepact.com. Follow us on Instagram at pact_social. And thank you so much.